gentlemen, and welcome to episode 69 of Spill the RT.
69.
69. Read
It's the
that what you
dirty
will.
episode.
It's the dirty episode, and we actually, for once, don't really have anything that's all that dirty in the content of today's programming.
Nah, not so much. Not really. Well, yes, kind of.
I mean, we're talking
If
about a
you're into
bean.
if you're into feces, then I guess yes, we do have.
We're not into feces. That's not a thing.
Well, apparently, we'll get there, but apparently some people are. Some people are apparently really into it.
Some people are weird.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
That's a given.
some people are weird.
And
How are you today,
what,
Josh? What's been
I,
happening?
I'm doing well. It's just coming to the end of the year for me. How about you, Amo? How was your week and your day?
Yeah, well, where do I begin? Oh my God, it's just like, oh. But we started this week. Since I've seen you last, Josh, we've had an exhibition in London, which has
Yep.
been tremendously received. Lots of people through the door, lots of people giving really nice comments in our little notebook, which was really sweet. So people really enjoyed the work and liked to see the diversity of the works and how we were kind of. How our voices were nicely connected together, or not in some other ways as well, which is also really good. Um, and yeah, had some really good positive feedback. So just delighted with that. So congratulations, everybody. Good job.
Yay! Yay
Yay.
us!
Yay us. Whoop, whoop. That show went really well and delighted that we had a successful London debut. So good job, everybody.
But you were whinging before the show began,
Oh,
and
Josh,
so
when am I not whinging? Do you know, for before I talk about the whinging or the whinge about whinging, I must say that I often give out to my partner Darren. I often say to him, do you know, like my least favorite character in a TV show or a movie is the whiny kind of protagonist who is like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh no, please help me." And I'm always,
ironies
yeah, yeah.
ironies abound.
Yeah, and here I am whinging about whinging because that's just what I
Yep,
do. You know, I'm whinging
that's
about whinging. Love it.
you are the whinger on
It's
Scooby Doo. If there was like an extra character that showed up once in a while into the mystery van, it
Mhm.
would be like the whinger, and that's right there.
Yeah, I don't
You,
like to whinge because I'm conscious
it's
of it.
it's okay if you sip on camera. Watch, I'll do it. Here you
I know,
go.
I didn't want to sip, didn't want to endorse the hue, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the oh my God.
Hashtag
How could you?
endorsement. Endorsement.
Oh,
It's got, well, you know, just to give them a kudos, there's got 35 grams of protein in it, 26 vitamins and minerals, and it's very low in sugar. It says there's no added sugar. But how much sugar was there to begin with?
here's a suggestion from someone who knows how to put on and take off pounds quite easily. Eggs are
Okay.
much better.
I love my
Have some
eggs.
eggs,
I love eggs.
but
I do.
five eggs will give you the same thing and give you a whole bunch of things that aren't
Five
artificial
eggs.
or man-made or
I'm not sure I
well,
could
five
eat
eggs.
five eggs.
That's not a lot of eggs. If you do scrambled eggs, that's not much at all. I
Okay,
mean,
I'm gonna.
granted, five fried eggs seems like a lot on the plate, but five scrambled
But
eggs
at
takes
least
up
if you have
just.
the fried eggs, then they're fatty, you know, and you get a bit of fat in there as well.
I think you're missing the whole point here.
Get all that juicy cholesterol in you, you know? Bring the
This might
heart,
be why.
clog up the valves.
This might be why, despite going to the gym, you have this issue with being a little on the thin side. Just saying.
Here we are whinging about me once again.
That's
Love a bit of whinge. Anyway, so the whinge of the days. I went to, because oh, that wasn't whinging, but I do have a whinge of the day. Could be a new segment on Spill the RT in 2026. Anyway, Amo and Josh's whinge of the day. So,
well,
yeah,
Amos wins anyway.
Amo's whinge. So I was in the physiotherapist today, and just to kind of potentially have a bit of carpal tunnel because I'm getting old now. You know that's what happens. All of that repetitive strain from the keyboarding. Wah wah. Exactly. Anyway, that wasn't the problem. He was great, fantastic. Checkbox, love it. But I got a nice charge from my health insurance today, and I'm like, I thought this was covered. And I probably wouldn't have signed up for it. I probably would have just suffered on through the pain had I not known that it was going to cost me £75 per
Yeah,
session.
but the thing is with carpal tunnel, that co-payment's probably saving you a lot more money down the road because the surgery that you'd have to have otherwise would be a lot worse. So just
Yeah,
saying.
I don't do well in surgery. I don't do well under the knife. There I
Well,
am whinging about
then
surgery now.
pay your 75 quid and shut up.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's my whinge of the day. Josh, tell
And
us,
and
give us,
this is and this is 2025, right? So
it
by
is.
inflations, that's like 40 quid back in the day. So you know what? You should be complaining about nothing.
Easy, easy, if not
Easy.
20. I'd say, like what with the cost of living these days, oh, everything's brutal. Speaking of which, we
Tell me
had
about it.
I brought out the Blackout exhibition again this during our exhibition
I
this
saw it.
weekend. Yeah,
I
I just
saw it.
decided to throw it in there because it actually kind of fit in a weird way.
It
And
did.
lots of compliments on your work there too, Josh, on that. That
Thank you.
was yeah, yeah.
Well, as I recall from each of the times that it was circulating, people always pointed out the fact that through no intention, right, that mine does kind of stand out just because layout wise, it looks
Yes.
different than the other pieces. So it
Yeah.
tends to catch people's
Yeah.
eye.
For
But that
those
was
who
not
haven't seen
intentional.
it, it's kind of inverted insofar as there's no
Yeah.
borders or anything in Josh's. It's all kind of like it's just one kind of piece that's in the center that has a nice organic placement on it,
Yeah.
opposed to like the others that are quite framed. Anywho,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was quite good, and I was living for that. That was kind of great. Um,
Well,
so yeah, but anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? What's happening
shall
this
we?
week?
This is supposed to be a quick cuppa.
Wake up, oh,
So
it's
this
supposed to
week,
be. Yes.
and that's on you, buddy. You wanted to whinge for a while. Don't talk to me
I
about
love a
this.
whinge. I bet you will get the most viewers ever now because I have a bit of a whingy character. So people
I
just
say
love listening to the likes of the
all the carpal tunnel syndrome sufferers now will be.
those who suffer through carpal tunnel. Leave a message below in the comments and give me your suggestions as to some physiotherapy exercises so I don't have to spend my money on it. Comments below, folks. Let's do it.
Anyway, this week, Anish Kapoor, The Bean and Ice is a lawsuit coming.
Oh.
Teen Vogue is no more. Controversial sale of art by a museum. A Klimt sold for, are you ready for this? $236 million.
On to our first
Right?
story. Where are we heading to
On to our
first?
first story. Off to Chicago we go, where for once, Anish Kapoor seems to be on the right side of history. So, for some backstory, this has now been declared illegal what the administration did, and so, but they wanted to have some pictures for their invasion of a city. Right, when you violate posse comitatus, it's important that we make a picture of this. And they
Yes.
decided to take their pictures in front of the Bean in Chicago. And Kapoor is now saying, I'm going to file a lawsuit because I didn't give you permission to use this in your promotional materials. And so I hope he sues them for $1 billion fucking dollars and puts these goddamn fascists back where they need to be
No,
in cages
okay.
themselves.
So, just I think what's really happening here now, Josh, is that because Stuart Semple is pissing you off with the paint, you're now best friends with Anish Kapoor again. So this
No,
is this is what's
no,
really happening here.
no, I honestly, I could care less. I mean, it could have been anybody, right? But the fact of the matter is public art, yes, is public art, but rights to the image of that art still return to the artist, particularly if you're trying to use them for commercial or promotional purposes.
True.
You
I think
got to
as well.
get permission.
It's kind of like what happens if you're shooting in New York City. You have to have a council, like you need to have the licensing to do that.
Well, what's happened over and over again is these people, because their originality is zero, keep taking from cultural creators music, video, images,
Mm,
art, and keep trying to use them in their promotional videos. And the artists keep filing cease and desist. Because you see, the one thing that does matter most in the United States is money. And so if you try to use someone's shit and they haven't actually paid for it, well, then guess what? You can revoke that and away it goes. And
okay.
so artists who are willing to do this have been revoking those rights and making sure the stuff gets shut down. And
Mm,
it is what it is. Like, we're living in the middle of a fascist state. Some people think that this is brand new in the US. Anyone who actually has history knows that this has been a tug of war going on for many, many years.
mm.
And for example, the American Nazi Party had a rally in Madison Square Garden in 1938. So guess what? Nothing new, same old, same old. It's the fight back that matters. So for once, like I said, Anish Kapoor appears to be on the right side of history here.
Yeah. Well, there's the bean anyway. At least that's flipped.
There's the beat.
Oh dear. Well,
Flick,
it is
flick,
episode 69, babe.
flick your bean. Flick your bean. How's that?
Oh dear. Well, I like getting my picture taken in front of that because I think it's really cool and it looks reflective. So I'm going to take a picture of it and it's going to look great.
There you go. Be a tourist for it
I'm
then.
going to
You
be a
go.
tourist. I get my selfie.
That's the kind of shit I would never do simply because everybody's doing it. I would want to take my picture reflected off of something that most people don't take a picture off of because then it would be something unique. But that's
If you
me.
get a fisheye lens, it will do the same effect.
Exactly. Like you could
Mm,
do that really off of just about any kind of surface.
exactly. So,
Your mileage may vary.
your mileage may
Anyhow,
vary. Anyway,
oof,
moving swiftly along.
off we go to continue on the collapse of American and I guess world society, really. I guess New York would be the place to do this because it's Conde Nast. They
New
have decided to
York.
kill they decided to kill Teen Vogue. And I'm not bringing this up because I'm a particular like fan of Teen Vogue per se, but they were really well known for like political messaging and
That's
like
not what I
in-depth
heard.
research.
That's not what I
Yeah,
heard.
honestly,
I heard you've got a monthly subscription.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
But they had like a really good in-depth research department, believe it or not. And this is part of like what's happening across the media landscape, right? People with real money are buying these things and then shutting down things they don't like. Because of course, if capitalism is to rule the day, this is a different kind of fascism that we're dealing with. This is not the 1930s. The government doesn't move in and close things down. No, 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 no. Billionaires with more money than anyone should ever have come in and buy things and then decide to shut them down instead. Got it?
Mm.
That's how it works these days. Boom.
Yeah, I like. I also question like the entire magazine industry, like the print publications, as to the longevity of that. And I suppose like this, they were probably transferring a lot of their articles to their online journal anyway, so that I'm sure.
So I mean, what's at issue here is you're right that part of what's happening is as the like funded media ecosystem is in the process of collapsing, that
Mm,
there are other alternate ecosystems that are evolving. But again, that actually plays into the hands of, let's say, right-wing movements around the world
yeah.
where verification of fact always comes second and spectacleization and inflammatory rhetoric and pointing the finger at somebody to be the scapegoat is like how they do their business.
Well, Josh, you know what you don't get on social media when you get these publications of online articles that are for your Teen Vogue magazine. Well, in your bumper pack of your Teen Vogue, you used to get like a little sachet of samples. You'd get your little perfume
Yes,
samples and you'd get
yes,
your mascara
yes.
samples. You ain't gonna get that online, babe.
And in music magazines, you used to get records.
Dreamy. Oh yeah, I remember that. You'd get like a little track, you'd just get a
Yeah.
single. That
And in
was
computer magazines, you'd get CD-ROMs
yeah.
and then DVDs, right? I mean, yes, I'm with you that part of that experience has absolutely been lost in all of this. But
Hmm.
I think also um, what's kind of what's happening is this consolidation of what is being allowed to be paid for,
Yeah.
right? And it's a narrowing down of those options.
Yeah.
And as always, like I said, it's just another step in the downfall of Western civilization. It is what it is. I just refuse to simply go into that night, go into gently into that night, right? I at
Mm.
least will be like screaming into the void.
A gentle
Hey,
kind of
this,
side, a little side note to that. Would you, if you were to go on, like, I know, like the New Yorker or the Washington Post, all of these like big publications have paywalls
yeah.
now. If there was a publication, would you be willing to pay that subscription?
So it depends, right? There's been this issue where you have people who used to work for various kinds of news organizations who created their own Substacks, where it's
Mhm.
you're paying for a subscription to their writings, and the issue there is it's not being edited, right?
Yeah,
And so yes, you are getting voices out there, but the traditional editorial process is not in place.
yeah,
And what's happened at the traditional places is that traditional editorial process has been replaced by Jeff Bezos is now saying, here's what's allowed to be published in the Washington Post. I don't want that either, right? And
yeah.
so to me, there used to be this third way. It was called how journalism is supposed to work.
Mm,
And that has been removed because it's onerous and it's bothersome to the powers that be, particularly
yeah,
when they're rich people who don't like having people point out that their excesses are really problems for the rest of us and the world. And you're not supposed to talk about any of that, right?
no.
You're supposed to just smile while they make themselves richer and gorge themselves on the planet while the rest of us are like fucked over. I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to do that. I won't do that. Like, you can kill
Smile and
me, but
wave,
other than that,
boys.
I am
Smile
not.
and wave.
Yeah, no, I will not go gentle into that good night, and I intend to rage against the dying of the light every step along the way.
Very good. Well, that tea spilled. Thank you, Teen Vogue, for being a massive constant presence on the shelf and no longer.
Bye.
But however, it was nice to see you. To see you nice. Goodbye. Moving swiftly into number three. Here we go. Off we
There
go
is
to
a
the
theme.
museum.
There is a theme here. So this is a DC museum called the
Yes.
Phillips Collection.
Hmm.
And they are selling off some, I mean, quite frankly, just priceless works. They're selling off O'Keeffe's, they're selling off Seurat's, they're selling off like really well-known art
Artworks. Mm.
historically important works. And they say they're doing this because they need to fund the purchase of living artists. And so this is the problem. When you start cutting funding, right, then
Mm.
organizations that are
Are
dedicated
selling
to
their
preserving
collections.
culture, they, in order
Mm.
to keep the alive artist, right, with money, they have to then jettison the dead artist who, where this stuff goes on auction. We all know when you'll see with the next piece that we talk about, when a historical piece goes up on auction, it goes
Mm.
for tremendous amounts of money, which means only very rich people are going to have access to it at that point because it goes
So,
into a private collection and gets
so
disappeared.
with the very fickle audiences that we deal with on a regular basis, where what brings a person to a gallery to begin with sometimes is the known or the celebrity artist that is presenting work or that has work represented there. To an extent, like you're going to go see a Picasso painting in a gallery because or go to a specific gallery because a certain Picasso was there. And as a result, you then see all of the other artists that are curated around that, and you get to experience different and new artists. What's going to happen when this gallery is stripped of all of the famous artists or the artists that has a kind of an established legacy, and we are just brought into a space that are just full of emerging artists that are not as known? Will the gallery
Well,
survive?
that's kind of a logical fallacy because A, it's not going to go from one to the other overnight. B,
Mm,
we're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of works, right? So it's
yes.
not so much about that. It's this idea that if you have to make a choice, if there's going to be limited funds, is it better to preserve stuff from the past or to encourage new things to be created? Because the reality is, some of the new work isn't going to end up being timeless in the way that the stuff is that's being sold off. On the other hand, new timeless works are not going to get created
Mm,
if you don't fund their creation, right? And so this is a classic kind of Hobson's choice where there's no good answer here. You're looking for the least bad answer. And
mm.
selling off a portion of your past collection in order to fund new works from living artists does seem like a reasonable compromise. But again, from my perspective, it's like, why is this a necessary compromise in the first place? Oh, it's because the cultural sector has been defunded basically and has no choice.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the reality here because they'll fund you, but you have to
Yes.
produce a giant 4-foot bust of some historical white man that Drumpf wants in his sculpture
And this,
garden.
yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Is that
that's
done yet?
that's how this works. When the levers are being pulled by certain kinds of people who don't play fair and decide on rule changes as they go, that's how that's done.
Mm.
Right? When the mob mentality pays off the people it likes and says, go blow to the people it has decided it doesn't, this is what happens. Artists, if they're going to get supported, well, then guess what? The rich people are still going to get theirs.
Oh, they always do. Oh, God. Okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Mm.
here we are whinging again. We should call this episode The
No,
Whinge.
no, I call this plus a chance.
Plus la chance.
My next tattoo I'm getting is going to be plus a chance, precisely because the more things change, the more they stay the same. And my argument is that's not a reason to give up because
Mm-hmm.
out of that fight gives us things like punk, gives us things like culture jamming,
Plus la
gives us things
chance.
like middle fingers that the rich are afraid of us. You just have to remind them that there's more of us than them.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Excellent. Well,
That's all.
that tea is built on that, and I think that's great. I think it's great that they're willing to sell the artworks, but unfortunately, it's also bad that those artworks are then being removed
Yeah.
from public consumption and into private
So
collections, which is quite sad. Speaking of public
so
and private,
yeah. So off we go to New York, where
New
Sotheby's had its
York.
first it had its first major auction And this auction season, by the way, has been huge because the
Massive.
rich have made a tremendous amount of money in the last 2 years, you see. And so that money's got to go someplace now. So they had just a tremendous turnout, tremendous sales. And this piece that is by Klimt, it's a really beautiful Klimt, don't get me wrong.
Mm.
Have you seen my Klimt? Have you seen my Klimt?
I've
This
seen
Klimt
your
sold for,
Klimt.
it's sold for $236.7 million.
Here's a bigger picture of covering your face there. Now, look, I'll just make it
Yeah,
smaller.
and that's a crop because it's actually, I mean, as usual with his
It's only a
paintings, they're
detail.
quite large. Yeah,
Mm.
they're very large paintings, and that's part of the thing. Is for those that don't know, his paintings are really large. They're very metallic. They're very intricate. They're very expressive. Like there's a reason that people like his work, and probably
Well,
the most famous
it's
one is
obvious. I mean, I've only seen one or two of his in real life, and I just think there's something about the expressions in their
yeah.
faces that are just
I think
like,
it's a combination of the faces and also the backgrounds, the
mm,
texturing, the layers, the fact that you can get lost in the paintings in a way, but they're still also semi-realist and expressive. So they're like they're partially abstract. It's like it's a foreshadowing of what's coming later on in the 20th century in terms of things that happen with abstract expressionism and geometrics and things like that.
mm,
So I think Klimt, like I said, because he's also expressive. It's also like something like the scream,
yes,
but done with more refinement in a certain kind of way, right? And so
yeah.
it doesn't surprise me that people like the work, but damn, $236 million means a very very rich person is what that comes to.
I have the wall for it, you know.
Oh yeah.
I could do with it.
So you think that's going to be your wedding gift from somebody? I mean, you are
Hint,
marrying a
hint.
lawyer. You must know some rich people, right?
I don't really. I don't know. We don't really entertain lawyers because they're not all that interesting to begin with. Except for my one, of course. My one's
There
very
goes that
interesting.
sponsorship. Oh well.
We love you, lawyers. Come on, talk to us about your views on art and art culture.
That
We'd
does
love to
raise a
hear
question
you.
though. Does Darren have one of those wigs?
No, no, not that kind of lawyer.
Not that kind of a lawyer. Yeah,
No.
I thought so.
Yeah. Yeah.
A normal lawyer.
No. No, um
Those are barristers,
those
right?
wigs
They're
are
practicing.
those wigs are left for the bedroom.
Ah,
Haha, 69. Yes.
so that happened. $236 million.
Yes,
I just thought we'd take note of
yeah, no, it
that.
was big. It was a big auction. Do look at the kind of the
Yeah,
results of that. Like there was some massive
yeah.
sales.
They're patting themselves on the back because at the same auction, going to our last piece here, the same auction,
Believe it or not.
Catalan's golden shitter sold for just over $12 million, which was just to be clear, the melt value of the toilet, right? So it's not,
Oh,
there's no value add here. If you literally then take this, you'll get 12.1 million for the value of the gold at this moment in time. And of course, in the future, it'll be worth more because the value of gold tends to go up over time.
that's actually
So
very interesting.
who bought it? Ripley's Believe It or Not. So they're not stupid. They're covering their bases here, no pun intended. But the rumor is they're going to
Covering
let
their
people
ass.
pay. They're going to let people pay to take a shit on the golden shitter.
They are not.
So that's the rumor. That's the rumor.
They
And
are
it's gold.
not.
So once you sterilize it, you're going to melt it down anyway. So does it really fucking matter? I don't know. But I found multiple articles that reference this, not just Ripley's, but that Ripley's is contemplating allowing people to use it as a toilet. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was installed originally as a toilet. One of the
Mm,
versions of it was installed as a toilet, an actual working toilet with water and everything when it was installed in the Met.
mm.
So, look, I'm not here to judge.
No. At least
Um,
it would encourage the boys to leave the seat down because people would want to put their ass on it. So,
as I said, to me, the theme here, the whole episode is the theme of like money matters most in our society at the end of 2025, and nothing else seems to. And a $236 million Klimt sells right next to a $12.1 million Catalan. And you can now go and take a shit if you feel your displeasure and
oh,
express yourself.
money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would not like to sit in that toilet. For the simple reason that I'd say every person and their sister would want to sit on it. But then, sure, suppose
Well,
we sit in all sorts of toilets, don't
no,
we, in the
no, no.
biggest crap holes around the world?
But presumably there would be like the toilet cover papers. I mean, I don't.
That's a very
Long ago,
American. That's a very
it has
American thing
been.
to do.
I think the last time I used a public toilet to sit down and go number two was sometime in the early to mid 1990s. So
Where you? That
I
sounds like a
don't
story.
ever,
That sounds like a story, Josh. Tell us what happened. Were you really desperate? What did you eat
I
that day?
truly
Was
was.
there too much dairy in the diet that day?
I don't know. The point
It was
is
just coming. You couldn't
that
stop
was
it.
the last time. And I obviously have used public bathrooms to pee. I mean, who doesn't, right? But I would not be using the toilet. But last time I checked, pretty much anywhere I went, you have the paper coverings, and you put the paper covering
Yeah,
down, and
it's a very
or you
American
do the
thing.
or you do the hover, right? I mean, apparently most women do what's called the hover, where
Oh.
you like don't actually touch anything with your body, but you hover very close to said toilet seat, and then you do what you got to do.
In the
I
interest
don't
of
care.
TMI, I tend to just get all of the toilet paper and wipe down the seat, and then yeah,
Okay, sure.
yeah.
Whatever works for you. I'm not. Hey, different people have different phobias.
Different bugs for different strokes, isn't it? Isn't that
If
it?
you
Different
really
strokes
think
for different
that
folks.
the outgoing is going to somehow suck back up in, then hey, work for you.
That's disgusting.
I'm not here to judge. I'm
That's
not here to
disgusting.
judge.
Why would you say that? No, 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 no. Ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between, I please apologize. I
I've done
apologize
it.
on
I
behalf of
finally did
Joshua.
it.
You did it. Anywho, there you go. That was a great episode of Spill the RT Quick Cup. That was
But
great.
we got something more, right?
We
Don't
do.
we have a clip? We have a
We
clip.
have a little surprise for you all. So for those of you who have missed uh, our wonderful exhibition at the Candid Arts Trust last weekend in London, we have a little preview clip for you here of
Post view. Post view.
a post view clip. Apologies for my tense. Of the art that was featured there. So have a little look at this. Hello everyone, I am Eamonn Shanahan and I am here at Candid Arts Trust here in London with the new collective exhibition Under the Same Sky, and we opened yesterday and we were very excited to have all the people come to see the work by our artists in this really beautiful studio space in central London. So I thought we'd just give you a little tour of some of the works and whet your appetite for another tour tomorrow. So let's get on with it, shall we? So behind me, just to start with myself, because why not? I have some of my suspended painting skies. So there's four in a cubular shape, and below that I have some mini skies and some mirrors, just reflecting that whole idea of under the same sky. So let's move along, shall we? So here we have a really beautiful video piece by Maria Markham. Maria Markham is based in New Haven in America, but she is from the wonderful Greystones in Ireland. And so we move, let's come this way. Here in this corner here we have 11 pieces by Josh Stein, also known from Spill the RT podcast, that you can watch the latest episode now on YouTube. But here are some of his pieces. They are called sitting shivers, and they range from a number of different pieces representing a number of individuals. That's really good, so have a look at those. Fabulous of that. And moving down here to the next piece on this wall, we have Sacred Mountain by the lovely Lorraine Hogan, who is a Cork-based artist. Sorry, Josh is from California, just so you know, if you didn't know that already. And then we have a piece by Anne Martin Walsh, who is a Wexford artist. She's also very fabulous. This is called Then and Now. It's an oil on board. So have a look at that. It's very pretty. And very nice. Here we have a piece by Curtis Creations, aka Frankie Curtis, who did this painting live last night at our opening, which we were very excited about. And so she did all of these really cool graphic pieces within
this canvas last night in front of all of our audience. It was super cool, loved that. And if we about turn this way, we have this really cool installation piece from our Latvian artist, Katrina Trkuma. And as you can see, we have a really cool hanging piece, which is of a clown. And from our box of Equality Street, which is very cool. Don't eat the sweets because they are not edible, but they represent everybody and everything. They form into this really beautiful water-like piece into this really nice sculpture. So that is a really cool piece by Katrina. And right behind here, as you can see me here, behind this wonderful vegan sign celebrating all things natural. And then finally, in this little tour edition, we have this beautiful charcoal piece by Robert Jackson, who is our Scotland/Waterford artist in residence here. And we really love this too. So yeah, our Blackout collection, which also features in this collection as a little extension, a little bonus feature. So in addition to the 13 artists, we have an additional 5 artists represented through the Blackout collection. And this collection has already been across the world, so it has its passport stamped quite a number of times. It features our representation to the climate crisis and the energy crisis that we are constantly dealing with. And as we are feeling the cold right now, we are very much reliving that, I feel, at this very time. But do check out the Blackout collection at www.newcollective.com/blackout, and you will see all the info about that, including the extra artists that are involved in that. So exciting to have that here too. So now we are just going to go to our next piece of the Under the Same Sky exhibition, which is this beautiful space at Camden Arts Trust. And we are looking at Lucy Lamb's work, which is called Speak Up. It's a beautiful kind of multimedia piece that it's framed with this really nice string texture that is falling from it. So have a little view of that. Very cool. Very cool. And beside that, we have a wonderful charcoal piece by John Murray. John Murray is based in Dublin, in Ireland, and this is a memory painting that he does. He does loads of those, like really excels in them. They're really beautiful. It's called Banana Beat from Tel Aviv 2025. So, John Murray's piece. And then we have some more work by Lucy Lamb. We have included in this, we have the material on the ground, and that is represented and supportive of these 3 pieces. From left to right, the first piece is called Do You Want Fries with That? The second is Dog Shitting in a MAGA House. And the third is called Is Niamh na Palestine Shinne Golair. And these are all acrylic on board and beautiful pieces by Lucy Lamb. So enjoy those, they're really great. Then we have another piece here by Quiva Nahini, and this is a photo montage, photographic print by Quiva, and it's really beautiful that she really likes to look at the difference between just that moment of time when nature is kind of at its end, kind of like so when that flower comes to that last moment in its life. And I think it just has that beautiful fragility that's really present in this piece. So a gorgeous photographic print by Quiva Nahini. Now we're going to about to turn, do a little bit of a boogie around. And we have Enrique Hernandez, who is our latest artist in the collective, and also has been just a shout out to Enrique, who's really helpful in setting up this exhibition on Thursday night. So thank you very much, Enrique. Kudos to you. Boom, boom, boom. These are charcoal prints. Not prints at all, they're the actual pieces. Charcoal pieces by Enrique. And they are just looking at the difference and that line between surrealism and reality and how we challenge gravity. You can see that in the really cool kind of textures of the concrete with the textures of that lovely malleable material, so it's really good. So this one, and they're in Spanish, but in English, I'll just read them so you can see them. The first one is called The Susceptibility of Heroism. The second is called A Flock of Novices. And the third is called At the Hunter's Feet. So there is the wonderful work by Enrique Hernandez. Now we've seen in the previous video, you saw some other work by Martin Walsh, and here again, we have a collection of 7 one-off prints by Anne Martin Walsh. They were created on a woodblock, etched into wood, and were relieved through ink onto these beautiful print surfaces. And they are just representations of the mother and child in many different cultural situations. And they're just really stunning pieces as well. So you have a quick view of those. They're called Under a Changing Sky, and they are ink on Fabrino paper. Really beautiful pieces. I think we can really kind of like connect with these. And then finally, oh no, not finally, we have more after this, even more. This show is just bucket loads of work. So this piece here we have is a 1-foot square painting by Lorraine Hogan. It's called Energy. It's an acrylic on canvas. Another really beautiful piece, and it's kind of responding to her video work. She's got the more realist painting that we saw in our previous video called Sacred Mountain. But this piece here called Energy is an abstract representation of that. And also here we have a little video art piece by Lorraine, which is also available to look at the space. Another really beautiful piece that is looking at deep sea diving on the west coast of Cork. So it's really cool to have a look at that. Great! And finally, but by no means least, we have some wonderful textile collage pieces by Amy Devlin. And so Amy Devlin has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces here. And they're all mixed media, so you've got everything from denim to cardboard to newspaper cuttings, all creating a different response from what the original art form intended or what the initial presentation were intended. So it's a lot of kind of response to recycling and also then in relation to the concepts that she's trying to put forward. So some of the titles including like Free at Any Price, Menu of the Month, What Has Happened, Don't Settle on Limitations, and Drawing the Line. So some really cool ideas and really cool investigations that Amy's having in this work. So that's really cool stuff. So this is in its entirety, as you can see folks, the Under the Same Sky exhibition here at Canada Arts Trust.
There
So
you
that was
have it,
us.
Josh. That's it. There's the exhibition in full. For those of you who didn't even bother come to London to see it. So
It's
you got to
okay.
see it for free, right up close and personal.
I didn't fly in either, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You can check that video out and all of our media across our internet channels. And also all of that work is now listed on our website at www.newcollective.com/under the same sky. And on that page, all of the works that were featured in that exhibition are for sale. So check the link below, check that
Down
out, and
below.
some nice, lovely, fabulous, affordable Christmas gifts for you all in that link. So do check it out, and if you'd like them, get on that quick so that they get there in time for Christmas.
Give us some filthy lucre. Come on.
Just
Help
get
out
that
living artists.
money. Yeah, baby. The artworks are on the way to their home across the world. So if you do want them, bear in mind that it will take a good 10 days for them to get to your location.
Depending. You might
Yeah.
be buying it from the same spot where the artist is. You don't know.
True. Very true. Very true. Absolutely. 100%.
But yeah, if you're hoping to get it in time for holidays at the end of the year, and you're going to want to buy this stuff, let's say in the next 10 days or so,
Yeah,
because of shipping regardless, because it's the
exactly.
holidays after all.
Yeah.
So let's get on the ball here. Let's think about our friends and families. Let's think about how art is forever. It gets passed down, that giving living artists work to somebody sends a message about support of the arts, and also thinking about the future of that person and that person's. And down the road,
Absolutely.
that art will still be in those people's
Yeah.
lives.
That little bit goes such a long way. And also, if you want to help us out at large, unlike a Christmas annual that you get just once a year, you can get the New Collective Anecdotes Journal that comes to your door every season in spring, winter, summer, and autumn. And not in that order because that's not the way the seasons go. But anyway, you will be able to get that.
Yes, it is.
I did spring, winter, autumn, and summer.
Well,
So
Well, it
it's
could go in that.
it
Depending on
can
where
if
you
you
live, it
like.
might
Depends
go in
where you
that
live.
order.
Of course, of course, of course. Anywho, so do check out anecdotes on our website, and you can subscribe to get your annual subscription to that, where you will get 4 copies in the year, and it's at a lower price than our per issue. So do check out that offer on our website also.
But truly, the best way, if you really want to support living artists, that is a really good way because that helps us support the collective very
Hmm.
easily. And you get updates on what everybody's working on. So it's like,
Exactly.
remember the old days of a magazine? Remember
Remember that?
magazines would show up? Remember
Yeah.
that once a month?
Hmm.
You look forward to it. I
Yeah.
can't wait till my new episode, my new issue of. See, I even screwed up because we call them episodes now. We used to call them issues.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's all we have time for, folks, at the moment, but we'll be right back with Spill the RT very soon with a nice special bumper issue.
Yes.
So we're looking
We
forward
have
to
a
sharing that with you.
we have a best of end of the year extravaganza that we'll have. But see, Amo's got to get married and he's got to
I
go on
do.
vacation.
I do.
And, he's gonna if he doesn't, he's gonna whinge between now and the end
I
of the
will.
year,
So
and we don't want that at
the
all.
whinging has been at such a height that I need to compress myself now with lots of
So
nice cool packs. So I'll come back with a nice glow. That's the
so
plan.
we'll catch up with you all for our special New Year's episode. But until then, this is us saying thank you for your support. We
Yes.
appreciate it. We hope to double our subscriber count.
Yes. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you. There you go. And like, share, subscribe, bring it to a friend, all of that, and just do so at hello@newacollective.com. We'll be right back very, very soon. We'll talk to you soon. Adios, amigos. Stay creative. Bye.
Cheers.